Hi everyone, welcome to the channel dedicated to sharing the profound insights and wisdom of Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier. If you're new here, you're in for a journey that expands your mind and consciousness, bringing you closer to understanding the messages from the fifth density Andromedan extraterrestrials. For those returning, we're grateful for your continued support. Before we dive into today's enlightening content, we have a small favor to ask. If you find value in the knowledge shared in this video, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your engagement helps us amplify Alex Collier's message, allowing us to reach a larger audience with these vital messages. We'd also love to hear from you, so please engage with the comments below. Whether it's a question, your thoughts, or even just an emoji for the sake of engagement, every comment counts. We read every single comment, and your feedback is incredibly valuable to us, as it all contributes to our mission of expanding this community. So please don't hesitate to leave your thoughts below. Additionally, if you'd like to support us further, consider giving a super thanks tip by clicking the heart with the $sign. This small gesture allows us to continue bringing you more of Alex's messages, unfiltered and directly from his lifelong experiences with the Andromedans. Today's video includes a compilation of several of the many important questions Alex Collier has received over the past few years, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video.
Do hybrids have souls? That's from Sherry. And from Justin, you previously mentioned there are beings which do not contain soul. Would such a person be considered a part of Source if they do not contain a soul? What happens to them as the consciousness raises?
That's a really, really good question. If you're dealing with a human being that is altered into a hybrid, they would have soul. They're altered, but they would have soul. If a hybrid is literally created in a lab, my understanding is no, there is no soul. And it is in effect a robot human being. The brain doesn't get the soul, so therefore there's no template of consciousness in it. So therefore the brain or the structure that is grown in there has to be programmed, literally programmed. It's almost like a microprocessor. Is it a part of Source? I don't know that I can answer that question. I don't know that I'm qualified to know. But when it's dead, it's dead. You know what I'm saying? That's a really good question. Because I'm told that there are a fair amount of hybrid humans on the planet. That's where I gotta leave it. That's where I gotta leave it.
What happens to the DNA we provide when we do an ancestry test?
What happens to it? What do they do with it?
Yeah, who else looks at it?
Oh, that's a really good question. I don't know. I know that it's cataloged. I know that if you use the current commercial DNA folks. You buy the kit on the online and you do it, and you mail it back to them, and they, in 4 or 5 weeks send you back something saying, well, you're from here, here. I know that those samples and whatever data they find is given to, here in the United States, to the U.S. government for cataloging. That I know. In fact, if you read the fine print, it even tells you that on some of these, because I've heard people talk about it. But most people don't read the fine print. They just like, I want to know, here's my 69.95, and off you go to the races. So I don't know what it's like in other countries, but I doubt it would be any different. In space, in the galaxies, the real wealth is time and it's DNA. It's not precious metals or any of that. It's DNA. That's currency to them. The ability to create life forms is wealth, because the universe is so big and it's continuously growing and getting bigger that civilizations come and go, but the life forms that they've created that still to this day continue to flourish is their landmark. It's their monument to the fact that those civilizations once existed, because these life forms validate that. It's a completely different way of thinking than what we are used to here. Completely different. The average lifespan of an extraterrestrial is at least 1,000 years. At least. So, their idea of long-term is very different. Definition of long-term is very different than our own. And, here on Earth, you could see 3 or 4 civilizations rise and fall in 1,000 years. It's not uncommon at all. When they visit and they're here for 100 years, it's a weekend. That's it. It's just a weekend. So I would think if you could go online to any of these companies that sell these kits, and you look at the legalese that's on their webpage, it will tell you what happens to your DNA when you do those packages.
Alex, what would you call the system the A's live in? It's surely not capitalism.
No, I wouldn't. Who asked that question, Mark?
Mark Thrall.
Mark, okay. Mark, that's an outstanding question. The truth be told, I don't really know, because my experience has been limited to 91 days in their environment. And in that 91 days, I was only in one place, on one floor of a mothership. I didn't see the rest. I didn't experience the rest. I didn't experience their home worlds. I don't know what you would call it. I don't know if any of the acronyms or definitions of each of those acronyms that we use here on Earth would even be appropriate. But let's just review it, okay? And let's see what folks come up with. They have marriage, but at the same time, if a brother or a sister's partner dies, they will absorb the members of those families to their own, and they become one large family. It is acceptable to have children with the dead partner's partner, even though they're not married, but they're considered a unit, okay? Now, the creating of a child, of creating life, can be done either in a lab, where both partners contribute to it, and the baby is born not in a womb, or they could have a natural childbirth, where the woman carries the child. The children grow up, they're at least 5 strands, 6 strands, 7-strand DNA. So their ability to learn and grow is dramatically different than ours. Okay, so we can't compare apples to apples. The children go to school what would be equivalent to us of 150 years, where they are taught all of the sciences, everything that the civilization and the culture knows up until that time. In other words, they don't teach them useless nonsense that's 5,000 years ago, unless it has to do with the history of their race. Everything that they're taught is current time, current time, current time. So when they're ready to move on their own and choose which field they want to participate in to contribute to society, they have all the sciences they know. And they can choose one, and they can do it for 50, 60, 100 years, and then they can change it. Again, they live an average of 1,000 years. Many live 2,000 years, or even longer in the case of Phaseus. Everything that they need in order to survive and to contribute to society as a whole is given to them freely. Their government, if you want to call it that, is made up of elders who all come together at specific times to discuss whatever currently is going on and or directions that they need to go, or information that's being shared that needs to be distributed to the rest of the population. That part I'm pretty fuzzy about. I simply didn't understand it when I was there. It was over my head. They live on planets. They live above the surface. There is an androgynous portion to the Andromedan civilization that lives above ground and below ground. I don't know why. That's just what they do. They are completely whole and self-sustaining colonies, planets. They don't have truckers shipping anything in. Whatever it is that they need, they grow. And everyone participates, shares in the abundance. And apparently they always live in abundance because they would never accept anything else. Medically, the only times that I've heard that someone would get hurt or injured is when they were on a science expedition and they would come across something that they simply weren't aware of, or they didn't know how to deal with, or they were in an environment that completely surprised them. But they can repair the body very easily, quite easily. The Yays on a whole are fruitarians. They grow fruit like we grow vegetables, and whatever the components, the nutritional components are inside those fruits, it gives their bodies everything that they possibly need. And I was able to see one orchard on the mothership, and the trees looked like redwoods, and they grew all these different fruits. I couldn't tell you what the fruits were. They were colors we don't have here. In fact, the first time that I was there, they were all black and white. Okay, the colors were all black and white. It was one or the other, because my mind simply did not know how to interpret what it was seeing, because I was seeing it for the first time. In other words, I couldn't see the colors because I had no point of reference to the colors. So my mind created a black or white. And it took a long time for me to adapt, weeks and weeks. This was also true of life forms that were in the park areas. Each level, I'm told, had a very large park area. The particular park area where I was 21 by 21 miles. And there were apartments, housings surrounding them. And in the middle, they were just these incredibly gorgeous parks, like a central park, or Agora Hills. That was always one of the first places that I thought about in Calabasas, between Calabasas and Malibu. It's just an absolutely beautiful area with rolling hills and trees and wildflowers and all kinds of different life forms. Many of those I didn't see until my third or fourth week, because my mind simply didn't know they were there. It didn't recognize any of it because I wasn't exposed to it. My mind didn't know how to process what it was seeing. And I know that sounds strange, but it took a while. I made a lot of mistakes. Not intentionally, which they knew. It was an amazing time. It was a very hard time, but it was also an amazing time. I put a lot of pressure on myself because, I wanted to represent the best of humanity, because I was aware that the history of our planet had been shown to a lot of the younger Andromedans. And my first interaction with the children was not at all positive for me. So I always made an effort to rise above, to do more. But it was difficult, especially when I couldn't see things that were right in front of me. But they understood. They understood that I was seeing things. I was in an environment for the first time, and my mind just simply didn't know how to process what it was seeing. uh, been a lot of learning curves this lifetime for me. A lot of learning curves, you know. But that's what I know. They're an amazingly happy people. They're a very authentic race. They let you know right off the bat if there's something going on they don't like. If you're thinking something that they're not comfortable with. They'll let you know right off the bat. And, you know, you always know where you stand. And you know, there's real strength in that. There's real honesty in that. You know, it keeps you real 24/7 or whatever the hell it was when I was there. You know, so whatever your thoughts are on that, I'd be happy to hear. I don't know what kind of a civilization you would call that. They always seem so healed, so genuine, so balanced. Everybody knew what they were doing. Everyone respected each other. I didn't see any cussing. There was no road rage. Okay. There were no gangs, none of that. You know, and if you moved, I think if you were to move against one of them, it would be a move against all of them. And then you'd have a real problem. So, you know, you'd find yourself floating home in space. No shit. You know, out the airlock. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Starcat is asking you to comment on the matter of the weaponization of the Earth biosphere by dangerous advanced technologies. The human traitors responsible for this and how the benevolence are going to address this fast-moving fact. The benevolence are going to address this fact moving forward in a society that has been fully indoctrinated, lazy mouth, indoctrinated and controlled.
JP, in your opinion, is she referring to HARP and things like that?
Yeah, the weaponization of the Earth's biosphere, advanced technologies, so chemtrails, HARP,
Right.
that stuff,
Right.
and yeah.
That's a really good question. I don't know what their plans are to take that stuff down. I don't know if that's something they themselves would do, or if they would. Let me put it to you another way. And I can only speak for the A's, because that's the only relationship that I've had. I can't speak for any of the other races.
Just to add a bit more, she's saying cell phones and nanotech, 5G, and so on as well.
Okay. If I've read the A's right, what they would essentially do is they would implore the governments or the technological companies, more likely the governments, and they would tell them exactly why this is harmful and the long-term effects that it would cause on everyone. And they would implore them to voluntarily shut these things down. See, the whole point here is to teach self-responsibility. They've always been this way. I don't know if they would come in with a starship and blow up half of Alaska to take out HARP, or go into Russia and take out theirs, or to go into China and blow up the two that they have in China. That's right, 2 HARPs in China. Okay, the one in Australia, I don't know if they would do that. But what they would do is they would tell them, look, long term, this is what you're doing to yourself. You need to dismantle this. Just like what the Pleiadians supposedly did when they talked about nuclear weapons, or when they were warning the US military not to make a deal with the Orion Consortium, the Orion Group. And we didn't listen. They were like, we will give you technology, but you have to dismantle these things because of the long-term harm they're going to do to you. That's pretty much the approach. Because as paranoid as our culture is, if they were to come in and take these things out, we would probably see it as a threat. But if they come in and say, look, you built this thing, this is the damage it's doing, the long-term damage. You need to take it apart, shut it down. There's another way to do this, or to do something else that's beneficial for all of humanity. And we will show you how to do it. We will teach you to build it for yourself. But you have to be responsible for you. Now the 5G, that's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster because it is a microwave. And there's not one scientist that has anything good to say about 5G. Not a single one. So, we can only hope that the awakening speeds up and that enlightenment gets a real, genuine foothold with the leaders of this world. Or we, the people of the planet Earth, we, the population, the human beings on this planet, we have to exercise our authority as the human race and just shut these things down ourselves. Just turn them off. Take them apart. That may be what we have to do. We may need to re-exercise our authority over governments. Because it's the people that created governments. Okay? And it's the people that support governments, good or bad. God, there's that line from the Declaration of Independence that Jefferson wrote. About overthrowing a government that is unjust to its people, that we have an absolute obligation, to throw off any government that doesn't meet the needs of the people and is in fact harming the people. I can't remember the exact line. But that may be the best part of the Declaration of Independence, is that line. Because, that applies to everyone worldwide. It really does. Because in reality, we're all fighting. We all really want the same thing. We want freedom. We want to be free.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it insightful, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss out on future updates. If you have any questions relating to today's video, please also leave them below. We read all the comments and take on board what our viewers have to say about Alex Collier's work. Remember, Your support helps Alex Collier's knowledge and the messages from the Andromedans reach more people. If you'd like to support the channel even more, you can give us a super thanks tip by clicking the heart icon with a $sign. It really helps our team bring you more content. Also, be sure to visit alexcollier.org to sign up for our regular email newsletter. It's the best way to stay updated with the latest news, exclusive content, and upcoming live webinars. For the latest insights from Alex Collier, check out alexcollier.live. And if you want to explore over 250 past webinars, head over to alexcollier.tv. Thank you for being a part of this journey and supporting Alex Collier's work. We couldn't do this without you, and we're genuinely grateful for your support. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the vast mysteries of our universe. If you would like to see the Andromedan Contactee Alex Collier live via video stream, we hold a live online seminar every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. For more information on upcoming live webinars, please visit alexcollier.org.